It's DeFi Roundup Wednesday time. Let's take a look at some charts, adding a few DeFi coins into the fold here. I'm going to stick to USD charts because the BTC pairs are probably very sad right now. But the USD pairs, as opposed to the previous 3 or 4 weeks I've been doing this now, actually look decent. I'll show you ones that look good. I'll show you ones that don't look so decent. I set some alerts on some of these myself. Some of them look okay. Let's start with Bitcoin dominance, which has continued to kick the pants off of alts over the past week. This down spike is artifact just on TradingView. I didn't see this on any other Bitcoin dominance chart I looked up, so it could just be a miscalc or some weirdness in the TradingView numbers, not really sure. But if Bitcoin dominance is above the 200-day moving average, which is this red fill, historically it's been Bitcoin season, as in altcoins have underperformed Bitcoin. Yes, there will be specific coins that may overperform in a specific period of time, like a week or a couple days. But in general, if Bitcoin dominance is above the 200-day moving average, it has done extremely well. And I think that's painfully obvious to some people sitting in alts right now. If we look at the DeFi Perp Index from FTX, this is the 6-hour chart. Again, a couple weeks ago I was mentioning this falling wedge, which has, with a bullish divergence, which if you don't know what divergences are, take a look at that video, also on this channel, that I did yesterday. But bullish divergence on our side, bullish divergence on volume, weakening bearish momentum is what all this is pointing to. And since then, it has had quite a moment. I said last week I expect this to just reconsolidate like it did on the way down. Typically, you're not just going to cut through all of the resistance that you made on the way down. So this probably will need to chill out sooner rather than later. Much of this is Wi-Fi related, I'm pretty sure, based on the market cap. So it's definitely goosing the index a little bit higher than it probably otherwise should be. Link USD looks extremely well still. Surprisingly, has held its bullish trend. It is above the 200 daily moving average. It is actually back at the R5 yearly pivot, which is probably the most insane thing of all this. It's within the median line of the pitchfork. It is snaking it so well. How can you deny the power of the fork here? How can you deny it? This price action is saying the market thinks this is where price should be. Buyers and sellers sort of coming to an equilibrium there. And this median line forecasted that months ago, almost a year ago. Okay, so use pitchforks, use them liberally so long as the points are obvious and the price action is congruent with the trend. And there's no better example right now than Link. So I expect this to continue. I expect it to hold above the 200. I expect it to hold within the pitchfork. I expect it to actually bounce back up the top side eventually. The issue with taking a trade on Link right here is the risk reward for either side is just meh, because if you're at the median line, top side is 50%, bottom side is 50%. There's an expectation that it should be bullish because it's in a bullish fork. But trade-wise, I don't think there's a margin trade really here at the moment. There's certainly a hodl trade here at the moment, but not a margin trade for me. Looking at AAVE Lend on the hourly Binance chart, it has spiked above the cloud in the past few days. Let's see, what is this? November 5th. So over the past 13 days, spiked above the cloud. That was the go long signal. All of that reset twice. You got 2 more go long signals here. You're getting go long, get out, go long again, get out, go long again. And we're currently kind of back into that snaking action, being in and out. So for me, if I was trading this, I would wait until another bullish TK recross above the cloud, or just go to a higher time frame and wait for it there. It actually has a decent amount of volume support up here as well based on VPVR. So unless it breaks below 50 psychological support, it's probably going to remain up here for at least the next couple of weeks, I'd imagine. A lot can change. This is the hourly, but that's what I'd be looking for. Looking at Uni, their rewards ended this week, I believe. So kind of a bit weird that price moved up, maybe buy the rumor, sell the news, sell the rumor, buy the news, I don't know. But price was moving up as rewards were ending. So at this moment, I believe rewards are over as far as Uni distribution is concerned, at least for the moment. Governance will probably create more tokens over time. But as of right now, it had, on technicals, again, bullish Kumo breakout above the cloud, bullish TK recross above the cloud. Both were go long signals. Right now, we're not getting any of that. Arguably, there was a head and shoulders here that is breaking down. It's below the cloud. Cloud needs to all reset, which is great if you're looking for a trade. Not great if you're in a long right now. But if you're looking for a trade setup, set some alerts on the 2-hour Uni cloud or the 4-hour cloud, and just wait for everything to reset. Same thing, same story. Or wait for your EMAs to reset, whatever you want to do. It's probably going to find support around $3, and it will need to break 4 with vigor before anything at 5. Just looking at this volume profile, it's got a lot of volume on the way down here. Something else I'm kind of seeing everywhere is this argument for a cup and handle, macro cup and handle on pretty much everything. Even this massive bowl forming here, B-O-W-L, bowl. And we're starting for Uni to get this handle to form. So again, all of this trend stuff would fit that pretty well, because right now trend is resetting, and if price gets back above the cloud and retests 420, whatever this is, then it will be ready to roll for that breakout above the local high. It's a bit of a messy, if you were to actually draw this out, it's a bit of a mess, but some of the other ones I have are better examples. SNX continues to do well, kind of mimicking YFI as it did last week. YFI had this bearish divergence that kept breaking up, and SNX may be in the same boat here. Tons of volume up here, tons and tons of volume, especially at the lows. So in order to break this low, it's got to have a lot of selling pressure. So I expect $2.50 to $2 to be of support for the next month or two, leading into 2021. And a touch of all-time highs isn't out of the cards in the next few months. Something else I'll say is if ETH does what ETH does in Q1, in that it tends to outperform BTC and or do well, I expect DeFi stuff to do well also. And with ETH 2.0, maybe the DeFi trade is back on the table post Bitcoin strength in December. Something to think about. There's tax rotation, there's all sorts of stuff to consider going into the end of the year. But as DeFi sits right now, it looks so far so good going into 2021. UMA, kind of a sadder looking chart on the bull side compared to some of these. It's kind of sitting where it should be sitting based on volume profile. So to me, there isn't really a trade here. The downside's equally as great as the upside in the moment. And it's basically defining this range from 5 to 10. So unless there was some sort of compelling setup here, I would just leave it alone. There's just better stuff, easier stuff to trade. Wi-Fi, again, had this head and shoulders on the 4-hour that broke down as expected. Descending triangle that broke down as expected. Bullish divergence that reversed the entire trend as expected. Bearish divergence that reset. You can see the bearish divergence brought price back down to the 50 on the RSI. And ever since then, it's just been pumperoni over here. It established a base several times now at around 13.8. Consolidation here, consolidation at the descending triangle, more consolidation here. So I don't know how high this really theoretically could go. I don't really have any thoughts on that. It's obviously bullish. No real divergences yet, but a potential bearish divergence on lower time frames. I just stay away from this thing because I don't know enough about it. Comp on the 6-hour looks like it's ready for some up potential. If anything, I'd be watching these 50 and 200 EMAs on the 6-hour, wait for those to cross bullish, and then that's when I would take the long trade. It looks like it's got a nice base at around 100 for support, so you could always start accumulating and set a stop at anything below 90 at this point. Last week I was talking about a potential multi-shouldered head and shoulders, and it looks like it's just ready to go at this point. Doesn't look like it's going to try to form any more shoulders. Even if it does, they should all be above 90 for this trend to be intact. So I think it looks good. Possibly 150, pit stop at 133, just based on volume profile. This previous low. But it looks okay for the bull side here. Ren also looks like it's reconsolidated after lots of bearish pressure and is ready for another attempt at the upside, at least on the 12-hour cloud, which is a high time frame for altcoins, and it does look okay. And an attempt at all-time highs, or whatever the highs here are, at 50 cents. I think last week I was saying there's a triangle here that's forming. It's still kind of there. It's definitely getting ready to break to the upside. And there's this descending volume profile as well. So if this breaks to the upside with volume, I think it'll definitely break all-time high. Not a lot of volume resistance left on the upside here. Serum, again, much like Comp, it bottomed, bounced, and is kind of waiting on EMAs, at least from what I can tell in the 4 hour. I don't see it getting past 175 anytime soonish. Within the next couple weeks, it probably needs to reconsolidate at 175 if it does break up, but it looks like it's established a decent base between 1 and 125. So it actually looks okay. You can see RSI reset. It had a bearish divergence here on the way up. That's all reset. So if this can hold three digits, if it can hold $1, I think it looks okay trend-wise in the next couple weeks. Band, probably the most impressive pre-breakout chart of all of the video right now. You know, SNX was the darling of mine a few weeks ago in that falling wedge situation. This band, inverted head and shoulders, looks more and more compelling every week. It's on the 12-hour. EMAs are getting ready to flip bullish again. I expect volume to break to the upside. It's already starting to. You know, this volume is higher than anything in the past couple months. So to me, this has a strong bullish bias. We might get one more shoulder here. If not, it's just going to bust through that 200 period moving average on the 12-hour. So I like $9-10. 9-11 is what the measured move is here on this inverted head and shoulders. But I definitely like a bullish rally that's potentially 2x from here. DOT, here's one of the charts I'm like forecasting way out. If I squint a little bit and move my head behind the screen or back from the screen, you can start to see this bowl forming. I mentioned it on one of the earlier coins, but you may see DOT going for all-time high, getting denied, going back to all-time high, and then catapulting to potentially $10-ish, 950. It's got a lot of time. It's on the 4 hour. Could happen within December is reasonable. So I would definitely set some alerts on this, or just keep it on your watch list if you're actually trading this thing on Kraken or whatever, because it does look like, despite all the VC baggage, it does look like a decent shot at 2x from here, at least. You know, I'd expect $8 to $9 out of this if all of this plays out, which is a big if, but it's worth watching. Cava, it has been pummeled very hard over the past couple months since August, just 70%, 50%, something down. When I see charts like this, I wait for the TK recross here. So if this cross is bullish, then that says get ready. The trade entry occurs once price is inside of the cloud, in this case around 180. And the expectation is it will attempt to reach the other side of the cloud, in this case around 350. This is what's known as an edge-to-edge trade. Very similar thing here, actually, just looking at this chart. You want a thick cloud, and you want the entries and exits to be obvious, and that's what you're getting here. So to me, this is a wait and see on the daily. Big time frame for an altcoin. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. It would be a 2x essentially from here. Sushi, another one of these potential ugly looking cup and handle charts where it had its bullish breakout. Trend moved up as expected rather quickly on the 2 hour. I think this was Uni rotation, in that people were rotating out of Uni and into Sushi. It's just my own thinking there. And right now on the 2 hour, you're seeing the cloud reset itself. So once again, if the cloud resets, you just wait for the setup. In this case, it would be around 120. If within the next couple days, probably a week is what it'll take for all this to reset. But if this can hold above $1, it's funny how so many of these are kind of the same price, but if this can hold above $1, this does have a shot at 250-ish within the December timeframe. Again, a lot can happen. It's on the 2 hour, but this is what I'd be watching. If it can hold $1, if it can reconsolidate at around $1.15, I would watch it going into mid-December, late December to 250. And there is a potential chart pattern to back that up in the cup and handle. Wing USD on the 4 hour, it looks good. I don't know anything about it. Never heard of it in my life until today. But it looks like trend-wise, it's ready for some upside. You can see it just got ground down to a pulp here, reconsolidated, made a decision to the upside. And trend-wise, it looks fine. A lot of volume coming in over the past couple of days. But it's a decent hodl if you're actually in that chart. B0X, same story as all the other cup and handle potentials. This would be, again, into mid-December, which would make sense for some BTC rotation if you're into that seasonality game. I don't know, I'm just making up the story in my head, right? You see a potential trade setup, you rationalize it, what could happen in order for that to actually take effect. And then you just watch for it. You don't force it. You don't say to yourself, this is what's going to happen, the market is wrong, this must happen. You say, this is what it's going to take in order for this to actually happen. And I'm watching for the trade setups. So you can either start accumulating around 20 cents or just wait until it's back above wherever the local high may be. It may not even get as high as 25 cents, 28 cents. But again, a decent expectation that this reaches 50 cents plus should the reconsolidation hold. It does look bullish though. You know, you got your bear trend, broke above the cloud, bull trend. This probably will reconsolidate once before breaking these highs again, but it looks good for continued upside. MTA on the 6 hour, definitely one of the sadder charts. It had a bear trend, tried to reconsolidate, more bear trend, it's trying to reconsolidate again. So the long side of the trade is above $1.44. Otherwise, it's a big avoid for me. And then lastly, BNT, an oldie but goodie, as they say, Bancor. I guess you can call it DeFi. I don't really know what they're doing anymore, but on the daily, it again got just destroyed over the past few months after an insane run-up. That's one of the issues with holding altcoins for a long period of time, because you're either going to be in this grind down and become a community member, or you're going to not get out quick enough and then again become a community member. So the window for this upside is so limited compared to where it was historically. But in any case, there's a potential here for an inverted head and shoulders with an upside to around 170. Again, on high time frames, I'm seeing this edge potential, which is what this would be, with a move into 80 cents all the way up to 180. So over a 2x. But it's got a lot of time. That'll be into 2021, into late December. I'll keep watching all of these charts over the next few weeks, give you more updates. I'll tell you what I'm trading. If I'm trading anything right now, I don't own any of this stuff. But if I missed anything, let me know in the comments, and happy trading.